When we think about our lives, we all want to be happy. There's not a single person in the whole world who does not want to be happy. And so we are searching for happiness in different ways and means that we think are going to make us happy. And we realize that if our attention is in outer activities, like some people think by collecting more money, they'll be happier. Other people feel if they have more properties, they'll be happier. Some people feel if they have more jewelry, they'll be happier. Others feel if they have more new gadgets, they'll be happier. And most of us are looking for happiness in the objects of this world. Little do we realize that each and every one of these objects is temporary. Money can come in our life and can go from our life too. Gadgets that we think are very important to have, in a few months, in a few years, get to be old. Properties that we buy might go down in value. And whatever other objects that we try to get of this life, they can be in a state where they're not with us anymore, and so the loss of them is very painful. So the happiness that we receive for a few moments is one which is not lasting. So where does true happiness come from? If you look at your lives, what are the moments when you're very happy? Most people are happy when they are with their loved ones. If there's a child, the child is happy in the lap of the mother. Even if the child goes to a doctor and needs an injection, if the child is in the lap of the mother, the child feels comfortable. Most of us are happy with the loved ones, whether they be our spouses, our husbands or wives, whether it be our children, whether it be our parents, whether it be our grandparents, grandchildren, brothers and sisters, and then our relations, and beyond that our friends, whether they be from school friends or friends who live in our neighborhood or friends at work. We're happy with those that we care about. And what makes us happy is to be able to experience the bond that we have with those that we love. So when we start to think about happiness coming to us through our loved ones, we also find that in life, no one is there permanently for us. In the life of the children, the parents generally pass away. Sometimes, unfortunately, there are some misunderstandings between members of the family, all our relations. And then people drift away. Many times people move from one location to another, and then the bonding between them becomes less and less. And so what is there that can make us eternally happy? Saints and mystics tell us that we all can experience the love of God. God who was there in the beginning, God who's there today, God who's going to be there till the end. That as we experience the love of God, then we will find that all aspects of our life will be happy. Now, how do we experience God's love? We can't see God with these eyes, we can't hear God with these ears. There's no place in the world where we can go to and say God is sitting there, we can go and meet God. And who is there to tell us about God? We can read the writings of the great saints and mystics, You can read our religious books, but many times they originally were written in languages which we are not familiar with. And many times we need to get them interpreted. So who's there who can make us truly understand how to love God? And this is where the role of a saint or a mystic or a spiritual master comes into play. In their assembly, we are able to hear about a connection with God. When we are there, we find out loud and clear that we are all children of God. That God is our universal Father, Mother, whatever we want to call God by. That we are all children of God. And as being children of God, we have a birthright to experience God's love. We are able to experience God in a manner in which we can experience by ourselves while we who actually are souls are in this human existence. That in this human existence God has provided us with all the faculties that are required to know God, so that the love of God can be experienced by us. And once we experience the love of God, then we find that life is blissful, life is happy, life is full of peace. So Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, who has written much about the spiritual way, who has written many, many verses about God, about ourselves, about the love between us and God, about the way our life should be lived so we can reach our goals. He's written a very beautiful verse which truly explains to us how we can be eternally happy, how we can be in a state of bliss for all times to come. And so Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, in his verses, he's written, दारे फानी में ही मिल जाए सुरूरे अब्दी, दारे फानी में ही मिल जाए सुरूरे अब्दी, जिंदगी वक्फे खराबात अगर हो जाए, जिंदगी वक्फे खराबात अगर हो जाए. So when we translate this into English, this verse is translated as, if in life one experiences the elixir of spiritual enlightenment, if in life one experiences the elixir of spiritual enlightenment, then even in your physical life, eternal ecstasy can be found. So Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj here is telling us that if in this life that we're leading, in this physical life, if we experience the elixir of spiritual enlightenment, so how do we experience the elixir of spiritual enlightenment? We generally are living at the level of our mental capabilities. Our mind is dragging us into the activities of the world. And so we are engrossed in all that is temporary, which is of the physical world. And so as long as our attention is in the physical world, we are never going to find something which is permanent. So how do we experience spiritual enlightenment? How do we rise above physical body consciousness? Because we, through our senses, are going into this physical world. So when we are in the assembly of a spiritual master, through the grace of the saint or the mystic, we are taught the mechanism by which we can rise above physical body consciousness. Through the satsangs, and the word satsang means, sat means truth and sang means to be with. So the word satsang means to be with truth. So through the satsangs, or through the spiritual gatherings of a spiritual master, we start to learn about our true relationships, our relationship with God and our relationship with every other living form. As we hear about our connection with God, as we understand we're all a part of a one big family of God, as we understand we're children of God, then the realization also sets in that we're all brothers and sisters in God. So our relations with others in this world become loving. We care about them, we share our life with them, we want to be helpful to them if they're going through a difficult period, and we want to make their life happy. So then the atmosphere in which we live becomes conducive to spiritual upliftment. And not only the atmosphere gets to be spiritual, but the presence of the spiritual master is uplifting, so that our physical consciousness, in which we are always focused, can then be changed into our attention going into the spiritual regions. We are told that there are regions after regions of existence beyond the physical. We hear about the life of the great saints and mystics who went on the spiritual journey. We know that a spiritual journey is available to us, a journey into the spiritual regions. The regions beyond the physical being the astral, the causal, the supercausal, and then Sachkhand, the region of all truth or the region of all consciousness. So we learn about rising above physical body consciousness, and not only do we learn about it, we get a physical, practical experience of going on the spiritual journey. So when we are initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, then this single or third eye, the Shiv Netra, the Dasmadwar, is opened. And we get a glimpse of the regions beyond. We experience the lights of the regions beyond. And through being able to practice meditative practices on a daily basis, our experiences of the regions beyond get to be more and more and more. So as we meditate more, because meditation is a mechanism by which we take our attention away from the world outside and focus it within, and through the help of our spiritual master, we are able to soar into the regions beyond. And so, as we meditate more and more, as we meditate regularly, we find that we are connecting with what are called the two primal manifestations of God, the divine light and the divine sound. And so as we connect with this divine light and sound, which is also called the Shabd or the Naam or the Holy Word, is that elixir that we experience within ourselves. That power of God that brought all creation to being, that loving power that brought this creation into what it is today. As we experience the loving power within ourselves, we are imbued with the love of the Creator. And it starts to impregnate each and every pore of our being. And as it fills us with the love of God, we find ourselves in ecstasy. And so Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is letting us know that if in life one experiences the elixir of spiritual enlightenment, once we experience that enlightenment within ourselves, when we are spiritually evolved, when we go on the spiritual journey, when we experience the light and sound within ourselves, then he says that even in this physical life, that we don't have to die physically to be able to know God. That while being alive in this physical body, and this is why many times this path of experiencing God is called dying while living. That while we are living in the human body, we can rise above physical body consciousness, so our attention is not on this physical world. But we're living in the astral world, the causal world, the super-causal world, and then in Sachkhand, where the merger of a soul happens with the Creator. That the spiritual enlightenment can be experienced by us. It can be experienced by each and every one of us. It's not the domain of a few. It's not a domain of just a certain kind of people. Each and every one of us can know God. So Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is telling us that when we experience the elixir or the divine nectar of spiritual enlightenment, which is flowing within each and every one of us, then even in your physical life, eternal ecstasy can be found. Then while living in this world of Maya, this world of illusion, in this world we've come so that we can take care of our karmas. So there'll be many ups and downs of life, there'll be many disturbances in life, there'll be many distractions in life. They were living in that arena of distraction, of pulls into the world, we still will be able to experience eternal ecstasy, eternal happiness, eternal joy. Because once we connect with the divine power within, then we know that God is within each and every one of us. And once we have that experience that God is with us, then there is nothing that can perturb us from being happy. If God is with you, then there's nothing to worry about. God is an ocean of all love, God is an ocean of all peace, God is an ocean of all joy. God is an ocean of all laughter. And so once we experience God, then life is happy, our life is joyous, our life is full of laughter. And that's the life that we want to be in. And that is not for that moment, it can happen eternally. It can happen for each and every moment of time, because we have within ourselves this reservoir of happiness and joy. We just need to invert, we need to go within. And that is what we find when we come to the feet of a saint or a mystic or a spiritual master. Many people, when they come to a saint, they are asking for wellness in their physical lives. They're asking for someone not being sick, they're asking for getting more money, they're asking for getting married, they're asking for having children. They're always looking for things of this world. Actually, we can get much, much more. When we come to the feet of a spiritual master, we should be asking for spiritual enlightenment. We should be asking to experience God. We should be asking to go on the spiritual journey, and we should be asking to fulfill the very purpose of our life, which is to know ourselves truly and to have our soul merge in God. As we come into that spiritual arena, we should realize that it's a tremendous opportunity for us to reach our goal. And our attention should be on the spiritual aspect of a being rather than on any other aspect. And as we start to understand that, as we start to live our life on this basis, we will find that we would be always happy, we would be joyous, and irrespective of whatever is happening in the world outside, our attention would be on our goal, our attention would be on the path that leads us back to a true home. It all starts with focusing our attention within. It all starts with being able to meditate regularly, and the more we can focus our attention on the meditative practices, the better we find that our journey is becoming. So let us meditate for a few minutes. Please sit as comfortably as you can. Close the eyes very gently, just like you close them when you go to sleep. Your eyeballs should be straight. Focus 8 to 10 inches in front of you. And as you close your eyes, those of you who've been initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, please do your Simran. And those of you who are new here, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. The repetition of God's name should be done mentally and not out loud. I pray to God Almighty to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power within and to experience the divine light of God within ourselves. We'll be sitting for a few minutes. I'll be getting out of this meditative state at that time, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you. छोड़ दीजिए जी, प्लीज लीव ऑफ.